Hello, Boardgame Misfits, and today we're doing something a little bit different, a little bit off the norm for us. We're gonna talk.
When do we stop talking?
Right, maybe not that different. But today we're talk.
We're doing it in front of the camera.
We're doing it in front of the camera, that's true. And today we're gonna talk about a specific game. Now, one idea we always bandied about was just basically picking a game that we both enjoyed and talking about the game and just giving our opinions about it. Usually one will like it more than the other. And so we'll kind of just pitch our reasons of why we like the game so much. It kind of gives you an in-depth idea of why this game is so good. But it'll also give you a little bit of the cons for it, you know what I mean? Stuff that we enjoy, stuff that we bring to the table, not stuff that maybe we played once or whatever. Stuff that we keep coming back to over and over again, these games that we love. And it can be anything old and new. But we're going to start with something new this time, new-ish anyway. And this is a game that you fell in love with. Like this is like your first girlfriend in high school that you married.
This was like time stopped and everything got blurry.
Yeah, and music played.
It was like Wayne's World with Dream.
Yeah. Oh, totally. It was hilarious. And I remember I was working at Dice Tower for Portal, and I saw the game. I was like, it looks kind of cool. And like, hey, maybe try that out. Let me know. And you guys went over and tried it out. And I literally just were like...
We were 3 turns into the first round. I reached into my wallet and I got my credit card and told Misfit Tom Omega, go.
Yeah.
Go. I'll split it with you. We'll go.
Yeah. Hey, guys all ran to the register.
And we got the first to the last one.
Yeah.
And he brought it back and was like, precious. And we haven't stopped playing it since, really.
No, you guys play it all the time, and that's funny because I mean, you guys play some games, but you're a little more particular. Like you guys will definitely be a little more picky with your games, and this is a game every time you want to play Rome, and I'm like, we played this like 10 times. Like, you're still playing Rome? I'm like, okay, sure.
You're saying 10 times? Like, that's not a Friday night?
Yeah, no, I mean, just have so much new stuff. You know how it goes with the games these days. We always have 15 new games. It's like, let's try it. So,
but to be fair, I'm sure a lot of people out there in board game land would go, okay, what do we want to play? Do we want to learn this new game, or do we want to get the nice, comfortable shoe that we've got now that we love, just okay, let's get it out. We don't have to think. We know the rules. Bing, 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 bing. We're 4 games in and we're happy.
Yeah, and those games have a good place in the collection because you get your mileage out of them. You get all the mileage you can out of them.
I've got my money out of this. And that includes the Kickstarter I've already kickstarted.
I almost did, but I knew you were getting it anyway. So I'm like,
I bought a special bag to carry this in. Yes,
I'll see you at my house with the bag. Yeah.
My name is Tom, and I am a Foundations of Rome-aholic. I have a special bag that fits this box, so it'll take my precious with me when I go to other game conventions to play.
So let's get into why this game is so good. Okay, let's big boy, let's wipe a little drool off there, just a little. So the things I liked about this game, and I do like this game a lot, maybe not as much as you, but I do like it a lot, is that it is one of those games that despite all of this going on, it's actually not a very complicated game. So the gameplay itself is pretty straightforward. You have your deeds for sale that early on you start with you get a set of random deeds, and you buy them as the game goes on. And the farther along they are here, the more they cost. So newer deeds cost more. And so you start out in this area and you have your little markers to represent which on this track you have your lots basically that you can put things down. Now the trick about this game is you need to have to get to score big to jack up your score, because this is a points-based game. You're getting points based on multiple different things. And the thing is, you need plots in a row to build these bigger buildings. So you get one plot, you could put these and just destroy the building there. You could put like these 1 plots down. But if you want to put like this sucker down, you need how many? 1, 2, 3,
6.
4, 5. 5. No, 5. This one's a 5er.
Oh, that's right. There's empty in the middle. A little thing in the middle, yeah.
So it's kind of this weird kind of Tetris-y. You're buying lots to maximize your area that you own on here. So one of the interesting aspects I liked about the game is it's simple, but you have this kind of complex strategy going in.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the big thing about this too is we find that in a lot of these tile laying games and such, you can get kind of a screw your neighbor tactic.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally.
But this kind of ends up dissuading it, because if you really try to screw your neighbors in this game, you screw yourself more than anything.
Yeah.
So you can't set up the best combos for your best stuff. And, there's some expansions that you can steal or trade or whatever. They've got lots of different variations of the game. This isn't going to be the same game over and over and over with you. They've got lots of different things that play up the game. You can even play a one-player game, which I haven't done yet. Surprised I haven't done yet, but I haven't done that yet. And
you're not a solo guy.
Yeah, there's lots of different levels of this game to add variety to how you do things, but still, you're looking out for your own building interests more than I'm going to hose this person, because
it's a little bit.
There's a little bit of it. There's just a little bit of it, but when you're screwing over somebody else, you're doing it because you want to get that plot because it's better for your stuff.
Usually, not always.
You're not just going, I'm going to buy that just because. Not because always. You're going to end up paying for that in points.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah, you're absolutely not wrong. Although sometimes you can just outright buy stuff to make people not have it.
Right, now, but then you're not going to have a 4-row that is going to get you 20 points later.
And that's the dichotomy of this game that I like. You're not just playing the board here, you're playing the board here. So it's like you're warring between here. You're basically first come, first serve on both boards.
But you're also not only doing that, but with the expansion here, the first one that you get with the monuments.
Right.
I mean, you're looking at getting into some of these monuments too that are even better than what you got now.
And those are first come first serve as well.
Right, because everybody gets those.
Yeah, so you have monuments that are available. So everybody gets their own board, and these are their own buildings to build. But the monuments are a separate thing, and they're available to everybody. So you have like 6 monuments, and they're randomized, and everybody gets access to them. So again, it's a first come first serve thing. So it's like you literally have first come first serve on 3 different boards, more or less, that you have to fight over, and you got to decide whether or not, okay, do I need that plot of land more than I need to build a building, more than I need to maybe work towards the goal for the monument.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. Even though you own a plot of land, other people are going to be owning plots of land around you, and the problem is they could build a building like before you, and that could mess up your plans, because you could be trying to build, take a certain route, because a lot of the buildings get bonuses for what's around them. And
that's one thing I was going to mention at this point, because sometimes in the way that things are laid out, and you see how other people are laying things out, you can take this one little, civic building and put it right here and gain more points from other people's buildings by having your building there than building your own building. So there's lots of extra mechanics on that you're looking at it from so many different angles on how to get your own points value. And on top of that, there's even a population tracker that having population, not running away with population doesn't necessarily get you points.
I found that interesting,
but being within certain points of that person, the catch-up mechanic on that actually makes it to where if you just shot out in front of somebody, it would go, number 2 gets almost just as much points as you just got.
I don't know how to feel about that mechanic. I honestly...
You don't like catch-up mechanics in any
No,
regard.
it's not that. And the thing is, when I first played this game, and a lot of games, they base a lot of scores on population. Like a lot of the city building or any games like this, they build a lot. So like early on, I was like, I focused on population.
One game you went all in on population, and
I lost horribly.
And Tom was sitting second place in population going, thank you.
Yeah. So it's like one of those things of it matters. It does matter, but it doesn't matter nearly as much as the other mechanics in the game. Like you should be on the board, but like I
you
think
gotta have at least one population.
Yeah, I think the last game I actually won, and I barely had any population. I was just getting like whoever the heck was in front of me, of course. So it's like I almost feel like that is kind of maybe a weakness, and I'll put my cons in here when I can, because I don't have a lot of cons about the game, but there are a few little things. And like I feel like the population, the scoring, like it almost seemed like, okay, they came up with the idea, but in practice, like population doesn't really have a huge effect when you have the person behind you gaining all that ground anyway. It definitely makes it so you can't run away with it. You can't make 30 pop and have the next person have 10, and they're just going to get 30, because what happens is they get the points of the person ahead of them. So what that ends up happening for everybody is that nobody wants to get a lot of pop. Like they'll get enough to get on the board a little bit,
or you can run away with it and get a good amount, but you got to hope that the person behind you.
Yeah, nobody.
The whole thing with the civic buildings on top of that, though,
like,
is like if you start getting more population, you can actually build off your own population.
Yeah, but
then the other people can do something.
But that's the thing. Every game we play, I see that goes. It's like always like someone will get out a little bit ahead, and then everybody kind of tails. They'll just tail along, and usually the last 3 will like shuffle places to see who gets the second place.
Yeah.
But the first one won't get that far ahead. He'll usually be 5 or 6 or 7, sometimes maybe. But most of the time, everybody's always close together, just shuffling behind whoever the leader is.
There is enough of a bonus to be number one in each era.
There's a little
where
bit.
You'll get something if you're out there enough. You'll. It's one of those things. It's like it's. I feel it's like a very.
It's
not
small,
swinging the game as much as you want it to.
No, it's. I feel it's a very, very, very small percentage. So much to the fact that you could almost ignore it, almost. Like I feel like even if you don't get any, like you should get a couple.
What's funny about that is the most I've made on a round or in an era on the end was if I shifted towards population at the end.
It does matter a little bit more at the end.
And a lot of these things in this game is when you're doing it gives you the benefit of how.
There is that aspect too. And early on, you especially have to like focus on money.
Right.
So you're like dumping all your money
commercial building, and then by the end, if you're not throwing out civic buildings, you lose.
Yeah.
Flat.
Oh yeah, and that's another aspect that I did find interesting was you need money to buy the deeds, so you have points, so you have to skip your turn just to get money in. And I thought one crux of the game, I was like, what prevents everybody from just like taking money over and over and over again?
Well, we found out one game. There's only so many of these.
There's only so many money. Because there was one game like that, and I'm like, what is it like? Like if everybody just called a truce.
Literally, yeah. If I collected again, we would have no money.
Yeah, it was like literally go around and just get money.
And we looked it up, and it's like, because there's a finite amount of money. Yeah, that's how they limit you. But we never thought about that.
Yeah. So it's like, because I'm like, yeah, easily, like everybody could just be like, hey, let's just collect a ton of money, and then we can buy whatever deeds we want. And you're still kind of warring for it, but it's like almost like a mini truce. Like everybody just get a ton of money.
Well, that and what we figured out is, if you buy the last deed, you go first next time. So sometimes that is worth jumping on it and getting out.
I did like that mechanic too, I will say, because one game I think other Tom like specifically bought the deeds out just to end the round.
Right.
So you can speed
at
things
the end
up.
of the game, because if you think you're pretty far ahead, if you just buy the deeds out, then game's over. Tabulate your score, and you're like, but I was gonna build the Coliseum.
And that's another aspect too. If you don't build your stuff, that's another part you got to worry about. Because if you don't build your stuff in the round, there's been a few rounds where like, okay, I'm going to build this and this and this.
Yeah, there was one game you had like 6 empty lots.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the heck? And you guys bought all the deeds, like, because you figure 3 other people are buying deeds.
Yeah, we saw you with a bunch of lots out here and went, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of strategy, which I love. Now let's talk about another aspect, which we can both kind of argue. So one of the things is a buy-in. For how much does this game cost?
$300.
Oh, was it? I thought it was less than that.
No, $300.
Holy crap! Oh my!
And this isn't even
my Dark Tower was cheaper than
this. Isn't even the super shiny washed edition.
Yeah, that is the.
We thought we were gonna wash it ourselves and don't try to do that at home.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Get the sun drop edition if you really want it. It's like $50 more.
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, when we got it, we thought this looks great. I mean, I love the
no. I mean, for the money,
unwashed.
It better look great, right?
Yeah, it looks great.
It looks good. But that was definitely one of the problems I had. And while it is great on the table, and I can't argue the fact that it seems worth the money. The game is great, but that is such a barrier for entry for people, because it is really, honestly, on the surface, you don't need any of this. Like, you can have smaller things.
Wise, yes, I do agree. And there's a lot of people who say this, that gameplay wise, these could have been little pieces of cardboard. And
let's cut it down the middle. It didn't have to be cardboard. They could have been smaller. Like, you could have a smaller mini. Like, it didn't need to be the size of Kansas. I'm just saying.
I know.
I'm just saying.
And I know your point, and I know everybody out there in TV land has been saying that. But in all reality, it's one of those tactile things that I would not have fallen in love with this game on demo I wouldn't have seen.
You think if this game was $150 and the minis were half the size, you wouldn't like it as much?
No.
You don't think so?
I honestly think so, because
if this was like a building and it was like maybe
you're building Rome. This feels like a big city, and I mean, we've got all sorts of tile placement games over there on the shelf.
Oh yeah.
You know, we love Planet Unknown, and that's putting specific tiles in different areas.
And it would be super cool if you had buildings like Mars, like terraforming Mars.
Like the Mars upgrade brought a lot to the table.
Oh yeah,
I must say.
Yeah.
And I honestly think too, when you think from that direction, how much better is the Mars with the 3D?
Well, yes.
So this,
however,
is so much better like this.
I'm not going to argue that, but let me insert this here. Both of those
That's
come
what she said.
Bob, it's not the video for that. So, like, it was well timed. Both of those had different editions. So you could buy, and Mars didn't even come out till later. People were 3D printing. But you could buy whatever edition and just have the cardboard or the half size, whatever the heck, and still play the game and enjoy the game. Because this game is really good. It's a shame that, like it isn't like somebody entry level could get into it, because it is really a great entry level game where people could just plop it down, play it.
And it really is a game too that isn't complicated but well done.
Yeah, exactly. And the designer's known for that. He's known for having games that are kind of like just simplistic but also deep in their own way. They could have had an edition where it was just Rome, the cardboard edition, and then for another $150. Whatever, get all of your cool minis. So they could have had cardboard mini or half mini, whatever, and then have like your add-on minis. Dark Tower kind of did that. Granted, Dark Tower was still a couple $100,
and still had a giant tower.
And it's still a giant, but I had a giant electronic tower that spit skulls at me.
Well, it was $150, but how much were the figs then too?
Well, the figures were like another 70. Okay, and it came with some figs.
So it's 150 plus 70. So you're not being totally honest by saying it's $150.
No. I'm saying. So
you're talking $225.
At least they split it. So they could have sold Dark Tower as a giant box with all of the minis and charged $250. Instead, they gave you the tower, which you needed. Some of the minis, like you had your hero minis, but all the monsters didn't have minis.
Well, that was like when Hasbro tried to bring back Hero Quest. Hero Quest. It's like they priced it too high.
You're thinking HeroScape.
Oh, HeroScape.
Hero Quest came
out, but it was still overpriced.
HeroScape, which is a game I absolutely love and still have to this day, failed to launch because
it was too much.
That's a whole other discussion, but it was kind of overpriced.
That'll be in the next video.
That'll be in the next video. That was overpriced for what it was, unfortunately, especially for unpainted minis. But no, I mean, honestly, this is a game that I'm glad you bought. I'm glad I didn't have to invest in, honestly. But honestly, given the option, I might have highly considered investing in it, because it is a very good-looking, a very solid, very fun game. And when you always come up, when you go, hey, you want to play Rome? I will never turn it down. I won't be like, I don't feel like Rome. Now, mind you, this isn't my favorite game ever. I think there's room for like Rome 2, the improvement or whatever. There's a few little things.
There's a Kickstarter that's coming out that's
with an
adding
expansion
a lot to the game,
and I'm excited to see what that brings to the table. Absolutely,
exactly. I am too. I'm dying to get it.
Oh yeah, no, I know. It's okay. You obviously, this would be an easy 5 for you. For me, it'd be a solid 4. Largely because of price and a couple little things that I talked about. But otherwise, this is a solid game. If you guys have the money, or
find some friends that have
or find some friends who have the money who have their copy.
Misfit Tom and I jumped in half these, and it lives here. And I mean, granted, as much as I love it now, I would buy him out if I needed to, or whatever. I would buy another copy if I needed to.
Just or whatever.
But the whole thing too, on top of that, is you can't buy this in any store.
No.
You've got to, right now, probably get in on the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Because they do print runs by Kickstarter.
Yeah, and we'll put info for the Kickstarter below.
And then they have once they get the Kickstarter out, then they make a bunch and then sell them. But it's kind of that exclusivity of it too that can get a lot of people out there going, oh, I would never have that game because it's $300.
Yeah.
But you go to a convention, you sit down, you play it, and you're like, I understand. It makes a whole lot of sense now.
It's still a high barrier for entry.
It's still a high barrier, but
it is a
I've
good game.
I've never regretted a penny I've spent on it.
It is a good game.
Except for maybe the carry-all bag.
Yeah, I don't know why you did that.
I think it even says Foundations of Rome on the side.
So
I've got to keep my baby safe. I'm gonna get a child seat for the back of the car too.
This is going weird places, buddy. You might need help.
Might?
Okay. Yeah, let's
Anybody
be fair.
who's watched these videos know that we are all in need of help.
I have a good idea though for our next talk, by the way.
What's that?
We're definitely. I think we should talk about Dark Tower.
Yeah, that's great.
We should definitely play it more. We should definitely talk about Dark Tower.
Yeah,
because that's kind of a same kind of thing. It's a high input entry, or maybe not. Maybe we'll just talk about whatever. Maybe we'll bring out Galactica. I could bring out Galactica. I don't know. If you guys have any suggestions, put some comments below if you like this discussion. Please see what games you want to talk about. We have obviously a lot of games, and we have a lot of favorites.
Thoughts.
We have a lot of On that note, we hope you enjoyed the discussion today.
And I'd say go buy this puppy. I love it.
I would probably say, honestly, I'd probably buy Dark Tower first for the investment, but you will not be unhappy with this game. But I would say find somebody, try the game first, because it is for what we've already said.
Yeah, we said quite a bit.
We said quite a bit.
I can't say any more. I could.
You could go on.
But I'd rather just play it.
We're just going to play it. Yeah. In fact, it's already set up. We're good to go.
I mean, even the detail in these coins. I mean, these little cheap 1 coins are all tarnished because any idiot can have a 1 coin, but the 3 coins are shiny. I mean, details like that. Okay, I'm geeking out.
You are geeking out.
I know I'm geeking out.
Thanks for joining us again. This has been Misfit Anthony.
And Misfit Tom.
And I hope you liked the discussion again. Of course, don't forget, please leave comments about what you want to see next, and we'll babble on about something else, guys. And until then, of course, as always, game on.